Chaz, from the inside, how big a deal is it that Tanner Thorson won this race? How big a deal for grassroots weekly racing all across this country?
Well, I think it's a really big deal just for the fact that Tanner Thorson is kind of that outside kind of, one of the characters we kind of got in the sport. I made a video or a music song and video called Birdman. You can actually go listening to it everywhere. It's on YouTube. But and that's from earlier in the year when he didn't right rear CJ Leary in a USAC sprint car race, but it was close. And then they had the whole middle fingers in victory lane. So this is kind of he's kind of the attitude driver of the open wheel world. And for him to, get into a team, obviously has great equipment, but at the same time, they were not that, cookie cutter TRD team. They weren't the guys with the Toyota. I think that is honestly the bigger deal here. I mean, Tanner Thorson, the character, taking down these names that NASCAR people had locked in, and all these, worship people had locked in either Bell or Larson. It's like before the week started, Bell or Larson is going to win the race when you got at least 45, car driver combos that had a shot at that. But Tanner Thorson, like I said, he's kind of that, gunslinging type attitude. If he's got a chance, he's going to throw the slider. And like you said, good for the grassroots guy, because he's one of these guys that I always say, everybody gets mad at me for talking about the Larson and Bell had the money, had the opportunity, whatever. But I mean, Tanner Thorson is one of those guys who did the Kyle Larson route. I said Larson and Bell have sold so many 300,000 a year Keith Kuhn midget rides. It's unreal, because these little kids think that that's how they get to NASCAR. So they rent out the midget to hopefully go to trucks. And then if you go in the midget, you do real well, you get drafted into a truck. Well, that's just not what happened, because Tanner Thorson and another guy named Spencer Baston kind of did the same thing that Larson and Bell did. They went and got a Keith Kuhn's midget, kicked ass, and then they kind of got, from my understanding, the Thorson situation, he got all kind of just basically smear campaign. So there's a lot of guys who are good on a Thorson level that are just left behind because they didn't have the $5 million to go and rent out a real good truck. So it's not only good for the local guy, it's also good for the guys out there who have rented those Keith Kuhn midget rides or done the same things that these Larson and Bells that NASCAR and everyone favors and idolizes. This is one of those guys who did the same thing, but didn't have the extra money or investment like a Larson or Bell did have, but can still later on down the road kick his ass on a grand stage like the Chili Bowl.
This is how we ride. This is how we do. Ride mud slide.